Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Altar of Souls, what are souls, how do you awaken champions, why should you care, everything about it. First, thank you Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video and for giving me this wonderful promo link. Down below in the description there in the QR code, the best possible start to Raid. You can start Raid with 3 legendary champions and 3 top tier epics. With my link only, Tholin Foulbeard after the tutorial, great campaign farmer, gets you straight through the campaign. Desert Queen code for Tuhanarak, wonderful void legendary. And during the Assassin's Creed event, Ezio Auditore as 7-day login bonus, followed by Rector Drath, Venomage and Uugo, 3 top tier epics for the best possible start to the game. And after you have started the game, it takes a while for you to get to Altar of Souls, because Altar of Souls only unlocks at level 42, and it is definitely worth the wait, because it is where you use Soulstones, you buy souls, and you awaken your champions with souls. And awakening your champions is the biggest single upgrade that you can do to those champions. It gives them a major stat boost, depending on the level of the soul and the rarity of champion, and it gives you access to blessings, which are another major boost. So it's just going to completely transform your champions. So for any champions that you use, you want to awaken them. Awakening champion gives them those red stars. So champions usually they have those yellow stars, up to 6 stars. Then they become purple when you ascend them with potions in the tavern. And as a further upgrade to those, for the ascended stars, you can also awaken them and give them red stars. First, you need to ascend the champion the level of the perfect soul or split soul that you have available. You can't awaken a champion that's not already ascended. And the higher the soul, the stronger the buff. And here you can really see how the odds are so stacked against rare champions in this game and so favoring the legendary champions. Because the stat boost that you get from a soul, let's say you have a 6-star soul, you get stat boost, you get a little bit more stats with each level. So for a 6-star soul, a rare champion would get 3250 HP. A legendary champion would get 8500. Yep, more than twice the rare champion's HP. Same like attack, rare champion gets 450, legendary gets 750. And as you can see, legendary champions just have such a huge edge. And it even goes further, because then you choose a blessing for the champion. And there are 3 types of blessings. There are rare, epic and legendary blessings. And as you can guess it, rare champions can only use rare blessings. Epic champions can actually use both epic and rare blessings. And legendary champions can use legendary, epic and rare blessings. There are some cases where you want to choose a blessing from a lower tier. Sometimes they are the better fit. But you can't get those higher tier blessings for a lower tier champion. You can change blessing once for free, by the way. Once you have made your initial choice, then you can change it once. And then after that, it's going to cost you 200 gems each time. So you have to be a little bit careful with the blessings. To give you some idea of what to aim for, most blessings grow stronger. They get some basic ability at 1 star, then they get something extra on 3 stars, something extra again on 5 stars, and something even extra again on 6 stars. So the blessings can actually change quite a bit depending on the star of your souls. And then the other stats that you get, for example, a 3-star soul is pretty good for something like a defensive champion. You get most of the HP at 1 star. And at 3-star you get all of the defense that the soul can give you, so that's great for defensive champions. If you have a damage dealer on the other hand, well, depending on what main stat it uses, at 2 stars you gain attack, and at 4 stars you gain crit damage, which is useful for every damage dealer, no matter what main stat they use. So 4-star soul is something that the damage dealers are really interested in. 5-star souls provide accuracy and resistance. Good all over the place for applying debuffs and stuff, and 5-star souls usually also give a pretty good improvement to the blessing, so they are a great target. 6-star soul gives some speed, not too much though, but it is game changing for some of the blessings. For example, Crushing Rend is a blessing that's recommended for many damage dealer champions, but Crushing Rend is actually not good until you get to 6 stars. Once you get 6-star Crushing Rend, then it becomes super strong. So there's really some major differences. As for the blessings themselves, there are quite a few and many champions, and it really depends on champion. So I recommend using a site like Hell Hades, for example, to check on what sort of blessing you should choose. With just one caveat, in that in early game, you typically want to get Brimstone. Brimstone is a blessing that can be game-changing on a login champion early on. Login champion is a legendary that gets a 5-star soul. 5-star Brimstone is really strong, and Brimstone is a legendary blessing. So legendary gets a 5-star soul for free, picks up that Brimstone. That can be very, very strong to get your account started, no matter really what sort of blessing the champion would have in the long term. The souls themselves come in two varieties. There are perfect souls and there are split souls. A perfect soul can be used on a champion at any time. It takes the champion to the awakening level of that soul. So for example, here I have a 5-star perfect soul for Gretel. And that means that I would need to ascend Gretel to 5 stars. And then I can apply that soul. And then it's a 5-star soul on Gretel. Whereas a split soul requires the champion to already have the previous rank of that soul. However, there's no practical way to end up with a split soul you can't use in the game. The sources of split souls are rather limited. So for example, here's a Xenomorph split soul. So I already have to have a 4-star soul Xenomorph, and then I can apply this split soul to add that 5th star to it. Split souls come from events and the Soul Merchant, and the Soul Merchant is smart in the sense that it offers you split souls only based on what you have already applied on your champions. So you have a champion with a 2-star soul, then the Soul Merchant can offer you a 3-star split soul, but not before. Perfect souls come from events, they come from Soulstones, and they also come from Soul Merchant, although only the 1-star souls come from there. So you will get most of your souls from Soulstones. And Soulstones are like shards. You get random souls for them. You can see the full odds table in game. But even the weakest Soulstone or Mortal Soulstone can actually give you a 6-star mythical soul. The odds are just really, really low, but you can get a lot of stuff from anything. There's also a wishlist function that helps you get souls for champions that you want. Do note that you get perfect souls from Soulstones, and the soul can be weaker than the one you already have. So if you already have a champion with a 5-star soul, then wishlisting that and getting a soul for that from a Soulstone, you're not any more likely to get a 6-star soul. You're probably going to get something like a 3-star soul for it, and that's going to be useless. So Soul Merchant comes into play here to upgrade those final levels. There are various 2x events for Soulstone types so that you can have better probabilities to get good souls, and Soulstones are also used as currency for guaranteed champion events, especially Decks of Fate. Usually, if you're free to play and you're not buying these, you have to choose between the two. They rarely overlap. Usually there's an X2 and then later on there's a guaranteed event, and they're not happening at the same time. I typically choose the champion events. The champion events are generally better than just going for the X2, but sometimes you can also do a little bit of both. And you also get soul coins from opening Soulstones, making this a little bit further complicated. So what are these soul coins? You get soul coins from opening Soulstones, you get them from selling souls that you do not want, and you also get them from the Iron Twins dungeon. So you can think of soul coins like parts of a soul stone. Once you have enough soul coins, you can put together a soul stone. And that's the only use for mortal soul coins, the weakest one. The only thing that you can do with those is to buy soul stones, so they're just fragmented soul stones. The other soul coins can buy soul stones, and they can also buy soul essence. And the soul essence is used as currency at the Soul Merchant to buy souls. So you typically want to avoid buying 1-star souls there, and you want to wait for high upgrades to your existing champions. So if you got a 5-star soul for a champion, it's super unlikely that you will pick up a direct 6-star from a soul stone. You're much more likely to be able to buy it. However, the price goes up a lot. A 6-star split soul for a legendary champion costs 300 Eternal Soul Essence. Mythicals are not available at all. For Mythicals, the only way to get souls is to get them from Soulstones directly. So it can be useful to hold on to your soul coins, so that when you decide, okay, do you need Soulstones, do you need Essence, when you have something that you really want, then you can use them then, and you can keep things flexible until that point. Except for those mortal soul coins, which only have one single purpose in the game. So you open Soulstones much like you open shards, and you end up with stuff, and much like with shards you end up with champions that you don't want, and here you end up with souls that you don't want, and you can sell those. The only reasons to hold on to your souls are either to wait to get the champion, so that, okay, I really like this soul, maybe I'll get the champion sometime and then I will have the soul ready, or to wait for some Marius missions. There are some missions that require you to sell souls from your collection and get coins for those, but only in the chain, so there are no events, there are no periodic events for these or anything like that, so not much use. And note that mythical champion souls are only available from Soulstones, so they are rare. And another thing to note about selling souls is that if you apply a perfect soul on a champion, so the kind of you open from Soulstones, you get compensation equal to the level of the old soul it had. You don't get this compensation if you apply a split soul, the ones that you get from the merchant. But if you have like a 1-star soul for a champion that you really like, then it's always useful to apply that soul to the champion. And then later on you maybe pick up a 4-star soul from Soulstone for it, and you replace it, and you get compensation, the same as you would have sold the 1-star soul in the first place. So there's no reason to not use a soul because you might get a better one later. And to acquire Soulstones and Soul Essence, you can do Iron Twins dungeon, although the rewards for Iron Twins are rather miserable. Iron Twins gives mortal soul coins and Soul Essence. You get 6 keys per day, and it also costs energy on top of using the key. You can also buy more keys with gems, but I don't really recommend doing that. The affinity changes each day and not documented anywhere, but except if you open the reward list and you can see, hey, wait, this reward seems particularly high today. Iron Twins has double rewards every Sunday. It's always a void day and double rewards. So Sunday is the best day to do Iron Twins. The rewards are low, so if you use your 6 keys on a Sunday, you get like 2 mortal soulstones and maybe 1 set of essence. Something like that. So yeah, the odds are not great, but it gets you something at least. So a recap of Altar of Souls. It's a vital source of power for your champions. Once you get closer to the late game, then practically your champion has to have a soul or it is useless. It's such a big difference. Awaken your champions whenever you have the souls for them. Choose your blessings a little bit carefully, because you're going to get that 1 free change. But you want 1 brimstone in the early game, so that's going to be a high priority early on. Save your soulstones for either X2 events or for guaranteed champion events. I like to do champion events myself, but you shouldn't really open them unless one of those 2 is going on. And save your soul coins until you know whether you want to use them for stones or for essence. And use your essence mainly to improve the existing souls that you already have, so that you're really unlikely to pick up a better one from a soulstone, so then you can just improve them from the merchant. Although it's going to take a while before you see the right one in the merchant, but eventually they will come. And farm Iron Twins at least on Sundays when there's double rewards to get a little bit ahead in the game. So that's Altar of Souls in a nutshell. A super good source of great power for your champions that should not be ignored. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.